I'm Emily, 32. Standing on the patio of the upscale country club, I watched as my family's expressions shifted from shock to disbelief. The sleek black helicopter with my company's Phoenix logo had just landed on the lawn, sending the perfectly manicured garden furniture scattering. My security team emerged, their professional demeanor a stark contrast to the stuffy atmosphere of the club. My mind flashed back to earlier that evening. It was my father's 65th birthday, and my mother had led me to the patio with that condescending smile she reserved for her disappointments. "We've put you out here, dear. The main dining room is for those. Well, you understand," she'd said, adjusting her diamond earrings nervously. I peeked through the French doors at my siblings, Jake and Lily, gathered around the table in the exclusive dining room. Jake, a 30-year-old, was showing off his new Armani suit, while Lily, 28, flaunted her Gucci dress. Crystal glasses clinked as they toasted their latest so-called achievements. Meanwhile, I smoothed my simple yet expensive black dress, a far cry from their ostentatious fashion choices. Mom continued, "It's just your modest career choices. We thought you'd be more comfortable away from all the business talk." Little did they know that while they saw me as just doing something with computers, I'd been secretly building a tech empire. Jake, with a smirk, called out through the open door, "The patio is for failures, sis. But at least you can watch the real success from here." I discreetly checked my phone. There were 3 missed calls from my executive team about the emergency board meeting. The acquisition we'd been working on for months had suddenly accelerated, with $8 billion on the line. Lily sashayed out, champagne in hand. "Oh, darling, you really need to let me help you with your wardrobe. This simplicity won't get you anywhere. How can you expect to be taken seriously?" I suppressed a smile, thinking about the upcoming Forbes cover shoot with the headline, "Tech's Newest Billionaire, the Silent Empire of Emily." My father, his voice tinged with disappointment, called out, "Sure you won't join us?" Jake's about to share his vision for expanding the family business. The family business, a small-scale real estate firm, was being run into the ground by Jake while he boasted of his unprecedented success. Unbeknownst to them, I'd secretly bought it through a shell company last month. I replied, "I'm fine here," checking my watch. In 15 minutes, everything would change. Jake shrugged and launched into his grand plans of a potential $50 million in development deals next year. Just then, I heard the distant sound of helicopter blades. My phone lit up with an urgent message. "Board assembled, waiting on CEO." Jake and Lily looked up, confused. As my helicopter approached, Mom's voice trailed off, and the family stared in disbelief as it landed. My head of security approached me. "Miss Emily, the board is assembled. A time-sensitive situation requires your immediate attention." I stood up from my isolated patio table. "The acquisition papers are ready." "Yes, ma'am. $8 billion pending your signature. The Asian markets open in 3 hours." Jake dropped his champagne flute, his face pale. $8 billion. Mom whispered, clutching her pearls. Dad stepped onto the patio, his authority wavering. "What's going on?" I smiled and pulled out my phone to show the breaking news alert. "Just some business that needs my attention. You know, that little computer thing you never bothered to ask about." Jake sputtered, "You can't be the CEO of Phoenix Industries." I finished for him. The same Phoenix Industries that's been buying up tech companies across 3 continents and secretly bought your failing real estate firm last month. Lily stepped forward, her Gucci dress now looking gaudy. "Why didn't you tell us?" I laughed softly. Like when you told people I was just playing around with my startup, or when Jake told his business partners not to waste time on my amateur tech projects. My phone buzzed again with another urgent message. But I was relishing this moment. My head of security gently reminded me, "Miss Emily, the board is waiting." I picked up my simple leather briefcase, which Lily had mocked earlier. "Dad, I'm afraid I'll have to cut the birthday celebration short. $8 billion waits for no one." After my dramatic exit, the days that followed were filled with my family's desperate attempts at reconciliation. Their messages buzzed constantly on my phone. Jake wanted to discuss the real estate firm's future, and Lily offered to style me for the Forbes shoot. Mom mentioned a gala in my honor, and Dad said he always knew I had potential. I forwarded all their messages to my assistant with a note. Archive under too little, too late. Sitting in my 50-story corner office, I watched the business news channel scramble to tell my story. My assistant informed me that Lily was in the lobby with a Hermes bag, the same one she'd said was out of my reach last Christmas. I declined to see her but asked the assistant to give her my real business card. Dad called, and I put him on speaker. His voice had lost its patronizing tone. "We need to discuss the family business." I asked innocently, "Which business?" "The tech empire you never noticed I was building, or the real estate firm I rescued from Jake's mismanagement." He admitted, "We may have underestimated you." I laughed. "Yes, you all were. While you were all busy looking successful, I was busy becoming successful. While you chased appearances, I built substance." The next day, I received a flood of texts after they saw my feature in Fortune magazine. They called for an emergency family meeting, but I replied that I was too busy buying another company. I also made an offer to buy the country club where they'd exiled me. The next morning, they found new ownership notices on the club doors. A Phoenix Industries property under my name. The next time I received an invitation to a family function, it said the head of the table was reserved for me. I sent back my regrets and a copy of my latest acquisition report. Because in the end, success isn't about where you sit at dinner. It's about owning the whole place. Welcome to my empire.